So, first things first, the observant among you might have noticed that my map backgrounds are a little bit different than what they used to be. I talked to the same person who made my Ship Girls mod, and well, yeah. So, hey Tab, if you are watching this by some chance, if you are watching this, you, sir, are a fucking champion. Second is that this is obviously a post-recorded replay. This is not a live game, but it's still a good game, and I wanted to share it. So, first things first, looking at the matchmaking, Richtofen's going to be annoying. The Annapolis has radar. Edgar is, at this point, I'm assuming radar. Stalingrad radar. Janon's going to be mildly annoying. It is very squishy, but as long as you don't get too close to it, you'll typically be okay. Zorky, Shima, and La Pampa for destroyers. So right here, I'm just using the build viewer mod, and I'm checking out the checking out people's builds, seeing if there's going to be any pre-game blacklisting to be done. But everyone passes the test. Everyone has actual builds on their ships. Whether or not they're good is a different story. But actually no, that one Yamagiri is has like has a full build, but it's like absolutely dented. It's like full gun build with AFT and Fearless Brawler and no conceal. So he got a blacklist for that. But other than that though, it's at least, at very least, better than a 0-point captain that I've been seeing a lot of. But anyway. La Pampa gets spotted heading towards A. The Stalingrad is spotted going towards the 10 line. We don't yet know where the Annapolis is, so I'm still wary of that. Edgar was also seen by the carrier heading this way as well. So I'm assuming at this point that there's already at least 2 radars over here that we know of. The Stalingrad ends up turning out here. The Shimakaze gets spotted by the Yamagiri. How? I don't actually know, because that Yamagiri doesn't have conceal, but whatever. The Zorky also gets spotted. So right here, I immediately know that C is available. The Shimakaze is in A. The La Pampa is heading in the direction of A, last he was spotted. But at worst, he's going to be heading towards B. And the Zorky is obviously spotted over on the 10 line. We don't yet know where the Annapolis is, so this is still a very dangerous move. Although, right as I said that, the Annapolis gets spotted. But right here, I just pop some torpedoes out. Honestly, a bit of a waste of torpedoes. And it is going to come back and bite me here in a few minutes, but I just popped the torpedoes out in case the Edgar wanted to be cute and kind of like try and make a play near this island and sneak in there. I have seen people do that before. That island's a very popular spot to try and for light cruisers and destroyers to try and play around. So I just put torpedoes out. The Edgar gets spotted. I'm expecting to get radared here, which I end up not getting radared, but I do get spotted by the Kremlin's face as I'm trying to kind of drift out of the Edgar radar, although the Edgar ends up not hitting his radar. Those torpedoes are extremely wishful. Those were barely within range, but minor spoiler, it's not going to happen. Edgar ended up getting clapped out by somebody. I think it was the probably the Wisconsin and the Stalingrad, I think, are responsible for most of the damage to that Edgar. He was spotted broadside and beached, so I did load the armor piercing, maybe to chainsaw him with my reload booster, but I am successfully capping. The Zorky's not going to be able to do anything about it. The Edgar's not going to be able to do anything about it. There's a Cerberus in that smoke over there who's also not going to be able to do anything about it as long as I can stay gun silent. The Yamagiri, with his full gun build, gets gunned down by a fucking La Pampa, so Yamagiri players. No torpedoes on the Kremlin hit. A little unfortunate, but it would have been a miracle if those did, considering there's a bow-in target at max at the edge of the torpedo range. So, not really a surprise, although it is unfortunate. The Kremlin is actually advancing here, leaving the safety of his rock, or relative safety. He was honestly probably dead no matter what he did, but I mean, at least if he stuck to the island, he might have had a chance. Instead, he just kind of sailed out, beached flat broadside, and sealed his own fate. So this entire time while I was just running my mouth, by the way, I've already accumulated 142,000 spotting, which I actually didn't notice at first. It was only after what's about to happen that I looked in the corner and saw that, and I was like, what the fuck, man? This Janan is, as far as I can tell, isolated. I do assume that it is the Janan on RPF right here. It could technically be the Edgar, but if the Edgar is what is still where he was last spotted, he would most likely be spotting the Marceau, or locating the Marceau rather. And the La Pampa and the Shimakaze and the Zorka, we know it's not any of them, because it would be, they'd be locating this guy or the one of these guys. And if you noticed as well, while I was talking about that, the Janan's guns were able to track me with relative accuracy, despite me being unspotted up at that point. So that is 100% Janan RPF. How much it's going to matter is a bit up in the air. A little bit of bad aim from my part, because I didn't think that the Janan was just going to sit there with a broken engine. I'm assuming he used his DCP on something else, but considering that's like my first fire, the only other thing I might have knocked out is like one of his gun turrets, maybe two, which I still don't think would have warranted a DCP usage. But especially not since it's about to seal his fate and he inted out of his own smoke. Non-pens on a fucking broadside Janan, by the way. So, I am still being located right now, which is... It doesn't really take that big a detective to figure out that it's the Shima and the La Pampa. Possibly the Edgar as well. I don't remember exactly when the Edgar ends up popping up, but at this point I'm assuming it's the La Pampa and the Shimakaze both. This Annapolis is going to be a problem, and what I'm kind of trying to do right now is, I've explained this before, when you're looking at a torpedo shot and you're trying to gauge whether or not the torpedoes are going to be in range, for a target that is heading towards you. This little line, when you're locked onto a target, you lock onto whatever target you want, and you aim your torpedoes. And what you're looking for is the intersection between the line on the minimap where you're aiming and the line of their current course to intersect within your torpedo range. And that is how you can tell if a torpedo shot is within range of something that's pushing into you. And as you just saw, it did end up paying off with the Annapolis here. And as soon as that Annapolis gets hit with the torpedoes, I immediately turn my attention towards him. I am going to try and kill him with the reload booster. It's not actually going to happen because I'm fucking trash. And I'm getting a lot of fucking non-pens because I'm hitting his spaced armor. But he does end up turning. I do get some superstructure pens, a little bit of, I think, of upper belt and stern pens as well. We take him out is the bottom line. And right now I'm actually expecting that this that the Richthofen planes were going for the Stalingrad. It did not. I saw the planes turning towards me. I was like, what the fuck, man? But notice how I'm still being detected even after my gun bloom goes away. The Stalingrad hit his radar, so we know it's not right there. And So that's how I knew it was up north, because if he was south, the Stalingrad radar would have detected him. The Edgar is still pretty much exactly where he was last spotted like 10 minutes ago. And the Shimakaze, because he has brain cells, he immediately smoked up because there was a Kleber and a Marceau in his mouth. The Marceau ends up getting spotted by planes, so go figure, planes ruin everything. And I'm just going to basically leave this, leave the Shima to the Marceau. I have what's called other problems at the moment. It took me a few seconds to kind of register that there was a La Pampa in my mouth. I am going to take a bit of damage here. Because the fucking La Pampa also has a brain and smoked up because there's a Kleber in his mouth. So I was really banking on those torpedoes killing the La Pampa. It didn't happen, and neither are these ones, even though the La Pampa is heading back into a smoke. These torpedoes were meant to try and deny him if he went forward to avoid that first set. The goal of that set was to try and prevent him from being able to dip back into his smoke, but you don't see it on the minimap here, but when I was playing this game live, I did see the La Pampa's torpedoes, most of them, go by the Wisconsin here. So we know that the La Pampa's torpedoes are down. And at best, he'll have a reload booster, but that's just a risk I need to take here. Because I believe we're tied on ships. But we don't have the greatest board control because we have 3 cruisers in one spot. We do end up bagging the La Pampa. He surprisingly did not get torpedoes off, which I was expecting him to. But I'm definitely not going to complain. What I am going to complain about, though, is getting griefed by a carrier. Even though the armor-piercing rockets aren't really doing a whole lot. And we are going to spot the carrier. Minor spoiler, the carrier is going to get spotted a little bit towards over here, but I just simply do not have the health left to be able to go after him. Being a German carrier, its secondaries are going to be pretty annoying. The Cerberus ends up going down to the Stalingrad, which I'm actually surprised that the Stalingrad had a shot there, given the fact that the fucking island was there, but I end up inting into one of those torpedoes like a dumbass. It is what it is. But at this point, the only ships left on their team that are in any position to impact the game is the Stalingrad, and to a lesser extent the carrier, just because of how strong carriers are due to excellent game balance decisions from Wargaming. I just am not able to go after this man. As much as I would love to try and bag me a pelt here, I simply don't have the health. I don't have the AA. And I do have my reload booster here, which I think I am going to actually burn it here, just to try and get a bit of damage on him and hopefully help our Wisconsin kill him a little bit faster. But I am going to switch fire as soon as the reload booster runs out. I get mostly non-pens and ricochets, given that the Richthofen is kiting away. And also, I believe, if anyone knows better than me, do correct me on this, but I believe the Richthofen is actually based on a Fat Freddy hull. I could be wrong, but I do remember it being based on a battleship hull, which is mildly annoying. So Richthofens are pretty annoying to try and kill. Montana's just getting farmed out here. And yeah. He's going to end up going down to, I believe, the Marceau or the Stalingrad. I don't remember who. But he's going to go down. Oh no, it's the fucking Clausewitz. Never mind. So At this point, the only also I just should mention real quick that the scores, the replay, everyone's favorite replay bug is back, and the scores are in fact reversed. So just if you haven't figured that out already, there you go. Now, all that's left to do is walk at the carrier, but given my super low health, I do not have very good AA to begin with, being a Kleber and not a Marceau, and also I don't have any reload boosters left, and just the fact that Richtophens are annoying to kill, at least for destroyer guns. I am pretty much just not going to do anything to this guy except heal him, so my goal now is just get as far away from this man as humanly possible. One, so I don't get cooties. And second is because I don't want this carrier to get any extra damage or even a kill on me. If it was like a battleship or a cruiser, I probably would have been a little bit more greedy because my survival is no longer essential for the game win. So if it was a battleship or a cruiser, I might have been a little greedy, but I'm literally just being petty and trying to deny the carrier from getting an extra kill to end his game. If he kills like one of the other guys on my team, like maybe that Stalingrad or the Marceau, I don't really care that much. But as long as it's not me, is really all I care about. So I am just going to head all the way to the opposite end of the map, and we're going to Cap C, or at least we would if the carrier survives that long. I think the Marceau, I believe, is going to be the one that gets him here. The Wisconsin chunks him down, and then the Marceau gets the last shot, is what I believe happens. No, it's the fucking Clausewitz again. Never fucking mind. So, yeah, that was that. Pretty solid game. I unfortunately did not have free XP boosters, which is a little unfortunate. The Janan, I didn't really emphasize this a whole lot, but Kleber 139mm guns on light cruisers like a Minotaur or a Janan, an Austin, or any ships like them. French 139mm armor piercing fucking hurts. And it hurts a lot, as that fucking Janan found out. Where is he? He actually placed above the fucking La Pampa, by the way, which is actually surprised me how bad he did. And also the fucking Schlieffen that placed lower than the goddamn range build Yamagiri with no concealment. There was a bunch of stupidity going around everywhere, but our team just ultimately ended up being less stupid, I guess. And to their credit, 1600, 1800, 1900, double 2300, like all of these guys up here, and even the Smolensk, all played a part, because none of these are particularly bad scores. The 1200 St. Vincent, whatever. I mean, we're not going to talk about that, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this. This Janan found out the hard way that armor piercing hurts. This Annapolis found out the hard way that torpedoes hurt, at least when they're from the Kleber. Marceau torpedoes are a little bit less scary. They're slower and they do less damage if memory serves, but they do have an extra kilometer of range, so yeah, it is what it is. But they also have like double the fucking reload as well compared to Kleber. So the main reason I showed this replay is just, first of all, you can definitely do spotting even in a ship like the Kleber. Second is the torpedoes on the Annapolis, just kind of giving I've gone over that sort of like trick with the intersection in your torpedo range circle on your mini-map. I've gone over that a few times in the past, but I haven't really mentioned it in a while, so I wanted to bring that up again. The chainsaw on the Janan, the chainsaw on the what was it, the La Pampa, both of who were placed at the fucking bottom, by the way, but yeah, that was fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this replay. And the moral of the story is carriers suck, and you should report them, and report anyone who they're dived with, and anyone who places next to them on the scoreboard. You should definitely do that. You'll run out of reports in like 2 games, but trust me, it is very well worth it. So, yeah, that's it. I will see you.